Like the pandemic has put me in positions where I'm forced to lead, and I genuinely don't like it. But I think at some point I was like, well, the pandemic's gonna be over soon, so I won't have to worry about it. Someone else is gonna take charge. And then the pandemic keeps dragging out. It's like I feel like God's like, this is your time to learn. You must grow. And I'm like, God, but I don't want to grow. I want to just do stuff. He's like, so I feel like the pandemic has been a lot of growth for me. Just like mentally and emotionally of like, how do I lead people in a way that's like healthy and especially in like in a in a like social distance world where we're meeting on Zoom, like how do we continue to build community in a way that people, especially because like the where I'm at, like majority of us are volunteer. Um, so it's like when you're in person, it's easy to be like, hey, come help because we're here together, we're in person. But in an online setting, how do we create an environment where people want to volunteer? And what tasks, like what can we, for the people who are like gung ho about volunteering, how do we open up a space for them to participate? Like, because sometimes, some days there's a lot of people that want to volunteer, and I don't know what, I don't have anything for y'all to do. I don't know what to do. But like, I think in like sometimes I feel like it's hard because like when people want to do something, you kind of have to catch them in that moment because some like you don't know next week they might get more hours at work. You don't know next week they might find something else they like better. And sometimes when like God provides the opportunity of a willing heart, like it's like give them something to do. Like whether it's like leading smaller, or like whether it's like being like designated for like praying for the small group or like whatever, like finding like figuring out how to delegate, I think like has been something that I was already like working on pre-COVID, but post-COVID world. It's kind of been put in my face a lot of like, hey, like this is a place and opportunity for you to grow. And I keep running away from it. But it's there and it's not going anywhere. So I think just learning how to be um how to lead in this way. So
Yeah, yeah, I
that's
think
what I'm
that's
trying to
great.
do.
That there are definitely opportunities out there, that have been given to you, and even new hobbies, for both of y'all
Mm,
that you have found, that you have
mm,
enjoyed ever since COVID that you may have never looked into back
mm,
before COVID. So there's a lot of like changes within ourselves that have happened. And I know regardless of COVID things, changes are bound to happen even
mm,
regardless. But still, I just think even COVID was like I guess like
mm,
the trigger, I guess, for some of these
mm.
things to be put in place and these
Yeah.
hobbies, to come into our lives and all of this. So I think, yeah, for me, a lot of changes within myself has happened as well. Like like spiritually, I know for me, I feel like my relationship with God
Mm,
is a lot more intimate and personal. I feel
mm,
like it used to be like even like got baptized like 10 years ago, gave my life to Jesus, but I still was never in the word. So it's
mm,
almost like how am I worshiping a God that I hardly know? Like
mm,
I'm almost like treating God as if he's just a Sunday,
mm.
Wednesday God, and like the rest of the week he's like my genie that's gonna like give me the
Yeah.
answers on the rest of the week, that I'm just gonna be praying to him for everything. So so I think once 2020 hit, I had a big like self-reflection in my life, and I told myself that I was going to be healthier in many areas of my life. Spiritual
Mm,
health was like a big one, of course,
mm,
because it ties into like the afterlife and eternal life and all of that,
mm,
and our walk with Jesus and our faith. So that was like one big thing for me, was a big change, is that I started like being intentional with like reading in the word And
mm,
sometimes, if I'm going to be honest, I have had times where I will just read the word just to say I read the word. So I
mm,
think even I guess I've had those selfish
mm,
attitude, kind of like, look, God, I read
mm,
today. You're happy now? Yeah, a
mm,
checkbox, kind of thing.
mm,
So, which actually is something I talked about in the previous episode with,
mm,
someone we were talking about the difference between
mm,
religion and relationship.
mm,
And that was like one big thing we talked about is like with religion, there's that legalistic view of like having a checkbox, like checklist of
mm,
like, look, Lord, I went to church today. I prayed to you for like a minute today, and I listened to three worship songs today. So it's almost like a
mm,
modern day Pharisee attitude. And if I'm gonna
mm,
be honest, I've had like that kind of Pharisee attitude where it seems like
mm,
I am, I may be doing it out of selfish gain that like I'm
mm,
trying to make it look like I'm impressing God when really
mm,
God doesn't need us, we need him. So
mm,
like, and God, of course, has that unconditional love for us, but at the end of the day, he's sovereign regardless. So
mm,
me trying to impress him is not going to be like he's not thinking, oh yeah, hyping me up or anything like that. So so it just goes to show that like he loves to see that, but like if we're
mm,
doing it out of selfish ambition, then
mm,
we're in it for the wrong reason. So
mm,
so spiritually, I feel like that changed a lot in my life. If I'm gonna be honest, I still struggle with my prayer life. That's something I still want to improve on. But I've been at least just having that
mm,
conviction of wanting to have a better prayer life is a start.
mm,
So there's that. And then kind of going back to what I just said a couple minutes ago about wanting to be healthier in different
mm,
areas of my life. Um, like physically, like I want to be like healthier in that area.
mm,
And I've had my ups and downs with it. At the beginning of COVID,
mm,
because there was nothing to do, I was pretty good at it. I was able
mm,
to work out more often and like, lost about 20 pounds and stuff like that. And then the following year, once things started opening back up, I kind of slacked in that area. So I kind of like, whoop, my weight started going back up and my health was not as good. But now I'm, kind of getting back down, from that too. So like, getting better in that area. Like in the past few months, I've lost like 12 pounds. So like it's a start at least, but I still know that there's improvements that I need to make. A lot of it has to do with what I eat. So like so just trying
mm,
to trying to change that health perspective. And then let's say like financially I want to be better off than where I was before COVID. Like I used to just if I wanted to travel, here's my credit card, and I almost about max out my credit card if I'm going to be honest sometimes. And now I'm trying to make it a goal to pay off my credit cards because I don't want that debt.
mm,
Being just a
mm,
single man, I want to be like if God is going to prepare me to be a husband one day, I want to, have at least that, settled to where the only thing that hopefully I'll be paying off is my car and my student loans. But as far as a credit card, I want to get that paid off. So hopefully by the spring I'm gonna have it paid off because I've made some pretty big payments. So I'm trying to make those big payments each month and trying to recover from the I guess the past mm, money like spending that I've done in my past. So
mm,
there's that. And then like just even mental health and emotional health, trying to
mm,
improve in that area as well because during COVID, a lot of things have happened, during the COVID
mm,
times, with George Floyd and there's a lot of
mm,
things that mentally like affected us and things that even divided like families, like even kind of like mentioning about the vaccinations and the face mask and then of course the election that was happening in 2020. So there was a lot of division that
mm,
definitely affected, that could affect people, and it definitely affected me. I definitely had my well, not weak moments. I've had my moments of being broken and of being like emotionally drained.
Mm,
So just trying to, prepare myself for when, even right now we're going through election time again here with all of the, the
mm,
Senate and the House of Representatives and, all of these governors, all these
mm,
other things that are involved with our, our government. So, there's that, just to mentally prepare myself for the good and the bad outcomes that may happen with that. And and even like my verbal, like I don't know if verbal health is a thing, but like just even the way I communicate, I
mm,
want to be healthier in that area too. And I mean, I'm trying to do better. There are times where I do fall short, and I may have a bad attitude, or my tone may come off wrong. But that's all part of just being human and just trying to do better in that area. So just trying to find ways in every area of my life to be healthier. My whether it's my communication or my physical appearance or just anything like that. So and then like one more big change that happened for me, I guess, is this podcast. Like just having
mm,
the ambition to want to take myself out of my comfort zone and wanting to do something different, not only be known as that quiet guy over
mm,
there. So, I think that was a big change. And I guess if I'm really thinking about it, I'm thinking about like the people that have been on my podcast, which a good portion of the people are from United Young. So I think
mm,
United Young was a big thing for me during COVID, to where I was able to create new friendships with people that I would never have, met if it
mm.
wasn't for
Sure.
COVID, because, I, had a circle of friends probably already, here in Alabama. And
Mm,
then, by being able to meet other people like y'all and other people from United Young
mm,
that are from not even from Alabama, just from other parts of the
mm,
country, and even people from around the world. I've met people from outside the country, and being able to meet them, and like some of y'all I've got to meet in person. Some of y'all, I still look forward to
mm,
that one day, but just having that opportunity to even get to know people, even if it is through
mm,
Zoom or FaceTime or just even through messaging. It's been a big blessing to me, just getting to be a support system for that person, or vice versa. If something bad happens in my life, or if something happens in their life, or they're going through something. So I think a lot of big changes have happened. And I guess like one final thought that I want to say before I end this episode is, um, even though
mm,
COVID, has happened, and a lot of things have changed, one thing will never change, and that is that God is still on the throne, and that He is sovereign, and that He is good, regardless of whether things in this world
mm,
are good or bad. So just I like to remind myself that, and I definitely want to remind the viewers that if you're watching this and you're hopeless, or if you're thinking like there's nothing good in this world, there is still good people in this world. There's still good things happening in this world. The news just likes to highlight the crazy
mm,
things, but there are good things that are happening in this world, and it just goes to show that God is still on the throne, and He's doing good things, and He will continue to do good things. And and maybe COVID definitely happened for a reason, and a lot of it, I feel like, reignited people's faith, and reignited people's strength, and wanted to continue like living for God, even though I know there are hard times that even come with that. But it just gives me more of a motivation now that like churches are open back up. It makes me want to always go to church, and makes me always want to have that opportunity to worship God, and even here at the house, like making more of a intentional intent to not only just be on my phone, but to get into the word. So I think that's just one big final thought that I wanted to bring up. So Anyways, I think that is going to end this topic. I want to thank both Danielle and Robbie for being here again. It was definitely good talking about a conversation like this because it is something that we have all been affected by, and not only just the three of us, but all of the viewers that are watching, and everybody that doesn't watch this, everybody in this world. So there's a lot of things have changed, but we know that God is good regardless. So thank you both again for being here.
Yeah,
And
thanks, bro. Thanks for having me.
yes, absolutely. And I look forward to having y'all back. If y'all have the opportunity to come back, I would love to have y'all back. And if y'all enjoyed watching this episode, viewers, whether you're watching this on YouTube, at Not Your Average Joel, be sure to subscribe to my channel, or you be sure to like the videos, or if you have any input, be sure to comment on my video as well. Or if you were even watching the small little like 1 minute video, like I'll post on Instagram at Not Your Average Joel Podcast. I'll post maybe like an impactful moment from the episode, or sometimes I'll post behind the scene moments, like maybe before I start my recordings, or stuff like that, or even I'll post maybe a funny moment that may have happened in the episode. So definitely check me out on Instagram as well at Not Your Average Joel Podcast. Or if you're not watching, but you are listening on my podcast streaming platforms, or not my podcast streaming platforms, but the podcast streaming platforms that my episodes are on, like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast streaming from. I definitely appreciate your support there as well. So, anyways, everybody, I thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. Bye.